Hi everyone, I am Ashwarya and I develop recipes on the appliance for you guys. So I am from a very tiny village near Badrinath. I come from a food business background. My parents and my uncle, they run a hotel. So this hotel is only functional for like 6 months because rest of the 6 months it's off season. If we had to bring a South Indian recipe for customers, and we have a lot of South Indian customers. So what they did was they would talk to all the guides that would come in and also sometimes the customers, and they would ask them the recipes of how like a sambhar powder is made or how a chutney pudi is made, what are the ratios. So it was very scientific in a way that my dad would just take a pencil, would write down all the measurements and would probably test the recipe multiple times. For 6 months, he was just testing recipes. So this is what I've seen growing up. The first recipe that I created was spinach Maggi, and I created it for my friends and my cousins. So this is when I was 7 or 8 years old, and after games you would get hungry. So one day I just decided that spinach Maggi is something that I think I should definitely try. We tried it. It just became extremely popular because of how bland it was. It wasn't spicy at all. So people kept asking me to make it every now and then. And that's how I started, playing around with ingredients. Representation of food is extremely important for me. The reason why I joined Appliance was because I wanted people to try the diverse food and cuisine that is available to us. I will now be talking about my top 10 favorite recipes on the Appliance. So you might be wondering as to what is so different about these recipes. These recipes are a mix of comfort food along with the slight different maybe fusion element that some of the recipes have to them. So they are a good mix of South Indian, North Indian, some fusion recipes that we took a lot of time and effort to put on the Appliance. Here on the list, the first recipe is Amaranth coconut soup. It is such an underrated recipe. It's such a simple stew or a soup, and you can eat it by itself or you can pair it with rice or chapati if you would want to. The flavors that actually, like the coconut with the amaranth and the spinach that comes together along with ginger adds such a good combination to the entire thing that it has become my most favorite go-to comfort food. The second thing that I want to stress about is your Beetroot Rasam. And I actually accidentally discovered this recipe when we were on a journey to figure out which is the most cooked rasam, at least in Karnataka. And Beetroot Rasam sort of stood out for us because of how simple it is. It is like maybe 5 ingredients that you just quickly put on the Appliance. You don't have to stand in the kitchen for too long. So beetroot has this really beautiful deep red color, and once you plate it and eat it with rice, again it can be like your favorite comfort food probably because it takes very little time for you. The third thing that I usually cook on the Appliance is Horsegram Sambhar. I stumbled on this recipe on Instagram. So I did the first test of it not on the Appliance but at my house, and my sister and I actually, we sat down, we were like, this is how we want the recipe to be. We tested this twice, and finally when I came to the office and I told Suruchi, we need to have this sambar recipe because it is so good. Again, it is extremely simple. You just need horsegram dal and you can just make such a beautiful flavor-packed sambar recipe because it has the right kind of tanginess along with the spices that sort of form the base part of the recipe. They're just out of this world, like really nice.
You can find these recipes on Appliance under the section Comfort Food Picks by Ashwarya.
So this is not it, by the way. We have a lot more recipes to talk about, and for more recipe recommendations, stay tuned.